Yeah.
Um, so I want to go back to being a sideman because you've been in demand as a sideman for decades now. We've again Death Clock, Devin Townsend, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai. How would you say what are things that musicians can do to make themselves more attractive as a sideman? Like how does a musician become in demand? Are there factors outside of the music that dictates it? I mean, it feels like there's so many great players now, but there's only one gig for a certain person, like playing with Joe Satriani or something like that. Um,
I don't, to me,
how,
it's a personal thing. Uh, any person that's making music, when it comes to them deciding, if they're a band leader and they're in a position to be hiring players and deciding who to hire and who not to hire, it's a very personal thing, and I think in most cases it's going to come down to uh, maybe equal parts music and vibe, and because it's very important to be able to cut a gig musically, but in arguably most touring environments, it's just as important that you be able to hang and not be an abrasion on the wheels that make the tour go. It's
Mhm.
like you want to for want of a much better term, you want to go with the flow, and you don't want to be an agent that is acting against that flow. You want to allow that flow to continue. Um, so I think the best way to make yourself attractive for gigs is to just demonstrate that you are good at helping with the flow. That you're not somebody that's going to be a problem. uh, and and then once that's established, what you provide musically is your signature. That's who you are as a player, and everybody is different. And every band leader has different ideas about what ingredients they want to put in their music, in their stew.
Mhm.
And so when you're trying to choose those ingredients, you just gravitate towards the ones that are most appealing to you, that feel like they belong with what you're doing, and uh, and that's different for every single band leader. So I've been lucky in that I've just because I'm like so into music that I've learned a couple of different instruments, and I've been interested in a lot of different styles. I like a lot of different kinds of music, so I'm really happy working with a lot of different kinds of musicians. Um, and having versatility is obviously gonna help, but also just if all you do is one thing, but you do it like nobody else on the planet does it, and you do it with such conviction, and you do it with I'm going to say a calm force that cannot be denied. Th- then then people will be interested. People will want to call you up and see what's going on.
Mhm. So, um, I think of it as when you talk about touring and you've done so much touring, um, you know, um, you're a little older than me, and I'm curious.
You're kind.
I'm trying to be polite. Um, uh, how how do you take care of yourself when you're touring? Because
Oh,
it is relentless, it is brutal. Um, it's a grind. I've done a lot of things in music. Touring is the one thing I have not done for longer than 5 days. So, for me, that was fun. That was a great 5 days is perfect.
5 days you can have
But
a good time on a
that's
tour.
all right.
That's
That's
before
a
things
good,
start to go, over the
yeah.
top.
Everyone's still friends afterwards. It's
Hmm.
hunky dory. However, you've done several, 6 month stints, and you've gone out on the road for 9 months out of a year, multiple years of your life. Um, I guess my question is, like, how does one take care of themselves on the road? Are there any tips or tricks you could give to a younger musician to make sure that they're at their best, they're not losing their mind, they're not wanting to kill somebody
Well,
over and
I
over.
mean, just the main thing to watch out for is the post gig adrenaline, because you can spend the whole day, monitoring your food intake, monitoring your alcohol intake. Uh, maybe there's even time for a nap. If there's ever time for a nap, take one. That's rule number one.
Yes.
Because being well rested on the road is a rare treasure.
Yeah.
But then the main thing is just the post gig party vibe, and how much of it you're going to allow to infiltrate you before it starts to do damage to your ability to do the gig. And that's a thing that generally takes uh, a number of years for most people to start to get their heads around. Um, and it's a lot of it, because I'm now of an age where I'm not interested in getting wasted after the gig and being useless in the morning.
Mhm.
Um, but it's food. Yeah, it's just like it's so easy to eat poorly on the road, because there's no pattern to it. There's no there's no schedule that can be consistent from day to day.
Mhm.
Uh, every day is a new world in terms of logistics. So it's really hard uh, to establish a rhythm in terms of nutrition, that combined with getting enough sleep on the road, and then if you can manage to go for a walk in the area around the venue at some point during the day, just to you know move, and not be just either in a tour bus, or a bunk within the tour bus, or a dressing room, or a stage, or all these locations that are kind of uh, they're not the wide open spaces. If you can get out for a walk and get some oxygen, and move your limbs for 15 minutes during the day, that's certainly going to help matters. And then combine that with try to get some sleep, uh, and and just watch nutrition, and then all the other stuff, the more hedonistic stuff. People just have to decide what works and doesn't work for them.
I mean, but you have to have some fun on the road, right? Like, I mean, is the music? I mean, I know, playing the show is fun, but like, there's got to be times where it's like there are times to let loose and have a little party fun, right? Like,
Yes, and in fact is essential and healthy, and especially as regards band camaraderie, which is really important. If everyone in the touring party feels that they're in a family, and ideally that feeling is genuine, it's legitimate, um, because that's what these tours at their best are. They're you're kind of you're forming a new instant family or a small community, and there's a whole dynamic that exists around that. Um, so having a good time is essential, and is important to the end product, in terms of what the audience sees, because they want to see a band having a good time. They want to see the band members visibly enjoying one another's presence, because it's a drag when the singer suddenly punches the guitar player. It's like that unquestionably changes the vibe in the room, and for the
yeah,
negative.
yeah, no
Um,
Jane's Addiction setups for you guys.
so I just you just want to aid the flow. That's all.
No, I like it. Yeah, it's something I imagine it'll happen to me at some point, but I just haven't dove in completely yet into touring, and um, it seems really fun. But
It
I've
is. It's
always been a
great,
little hesitant.
and it's it's the bittersweet thing about it, though, is that you do form these families, and then there's always or frequently at the end of a tour, it this happens. This doesn't happen as much lately, I've noticed, but it used to happen where people would say, "Yeah, let's stay in touch," at the end of a tour.
Yeah.
And the realities of life just don't allow that to happen very often. You know,
Yeah.
it's a constant reforming of these families, which can be a little disorienting. Um, but at the same time, it's a blessing, you know, because it's just all these wonderful people that come into your life, and I'm grateful for every touring experience. You know, they've all been a blast in their own way, and they've definitely all been learning experiences.
When you're on the road, are you able to like write and record music, like, or maybe like demo things out, or are you able to do that? Is there a time for that in the day?
Sometimes, and stuff has come together on the road, uh, and lyrics will happen pretty frequently on the road, and but editing is a thing you can really do on the road. There's usually some point during the day when there's a decent little span of time you can go in the back lounge of the bus with the laptop and uh, and dig into the 4 hours of unreleased music that you have.
That needs to come out for the next record.
Yeah, and so I you know that's how I have, you know, created working versions of you know these dozens of songs um, that I'm going to try to, you know, make the next record out of. But
Yeah.
I still feel like I need to write more. That's what's sick right now. It's like even with all this stuff, I know I'm not done writing before I go up to Devin's place. That's a whole other story.